My angels, it's story time. We love our singing bowl. Might notice a few things. Had to do my nails again. I couldn't go without for too long. And also, I fixed my grandmother's rosary, it's my rosary that reminds me of my grandmother. It's just my symbol for her. But that was really special. I was like, some of you guys, if you follow me, you know I broke it the other day and I was a bit sad. She's back. Love it, love it, love it. Anyways, how are you guys today? I feel a bit restless, a bit like, is jumpy a word? I feel a bit like of a strange energy right now. So I've kind of sat here for a minute before I started, but 0101 on my clock as I say it, which is destiny, new beginnings. So maybe some of you guys are just feeling a little bit confused, jumpy, restless with decisions that are going on. I always say this to you guys, as soon as I come in here, I'm just sitting and I'm opening myself up and saying, Holy Spirit, use me as a vessel. And I have a thought to share with you guys today, but I feel like somehow it's all going to tie in. So shall I just start sharing? I was feeling this restlessness earlier today. I've been feeling it for quite a while. So just kind of moving through my day. I went for a nice run, got my dog out, ran her, which was really good too. Always just gets those endorphins going. It usually will shift me into the best mood. It didn't. I kind of came back and just kept having to I felt that restlessness, and I got a really wonderful opportunity presented to me today, which was exciting. And like I said, you guys, I've gotten an opportunity to do to do something outdoors, and it really aligns with my values and everything that I'm interested in. So I was thinking maybe I'm feeling a bit restless with that. And so I'm not sure if you guys are, or somebody is. It's like I just sense that there's so much around the corner. Do you know what I'm saying? And we are 2025 is kind of behind us, right? We're not quite to that January 1st precipice, but it does feel like we're coming into that shift. And I think a lot of us have had expectations that have been just disappointing, and we've been dealing with a lot of that and getting ourselves centered and right, purging all that does not need to come forward with us, trying our very best, right? I mean, anybody else just trying your best to set yourself and face forward. And it's just odd. I was talking to a friend and she was saying that they didn't take a lot of pictures around their Christmas time. And I was thinking, I didn't either this year, and just felt a little bit of a kind of a slow, low burn. Christmas did this year, didn't it? So anyways, I'm always piecing things together, and you know, it could be lots of different things, but I'm going to share the thought that I had for you guys today. And the word courage is what came to my mind. I'm going to have a quick drink here of my peppermint tea. It's beautiful. I got these last year, just before Thanksgiving. Is that beautiful, or is that beautiful? I love beautiful things. Oh my gosh, look at how is it doing it? I can't tell on camera if it's as pretty as it is in real life, but it's just refracting light. Okay, I'm getting hypnotized by that. Let's just put that down. It happened to me as well. I was making like a pizza dough in my mixer, and I was looking down as the dough, spins around, which is a really beautiful, again, it's that rhythm. You know, when I'm shuffling cards or something and I'm like, it's that sound, there's something about in this feeling of being unsettled and just kind of feeling restless, there's something about locking into a sound, a gentle sound or a rhythm. I was staring and just got lost in my mixer. I was watching it thinking I could stand here longer than maybe normal. Anyways, I don't know what this has to do with courage, but I'm finishing up this book, Letters and Papers from Prison. This is Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Okay, let me get my candle. All right. So he's talking about, he's sharing last thoughts. This is right before he's actually murdered, but the chapter is called Who Stands His Ground? And he goes through various options for a man trying to have courage and standing their ground, and how do we kind of live and conduct our lives. And he gets all the way to talking about the man of freedom. He says, what then of the man of freedom? He is the man who aspires to stand his ground in the world, who values the necessary deed more highly than a clear conscience of the duties of his calling, who is ready to sacrifice a barren principle for a fruitful compromise, or a barren mediocrity for a fruitful radicalism. I am going to paraphrase. What is true freedom? He's saying, the man of freedom. Remember, I was saying to you guys in another video about how the law is actually the tree of the knowledge of good and evil represents the law. And man was made not for the law, but law was made for the man. Anyways, we're not really meant to idolize the law, okay, is the point. And he's talking about true freedom. So how does this tie into courage? He's saying the man who is truly standing his own ground before God is a man who is putting the thing that needs to be done above even his own clear conscience, as in there's a set of principles that operates in us, right? And it's like, well, this equals this and this equals this. This is our thinking with our rationale, right? He's saying the true man who is free is operating operating above the law, beyond the law. Okay? And this is a devout believer. This is a man who stood for Germany as a Christian, right, against Hitler, and was assassinated for it. This is a man who had to wrestle true ethical principles and figure out what is the right thing. He knew that he had to stand up for what was right, but that meant, would he have a clear conscience? If he had, remember the attack that he had been a part of, it wasn't successful on Hitler. There was a bomb planted in a briefcase, and the briefcase was actually sitting underneath a desk in a government office that Hitler was in. And when it detonated, the table that it was under actually stopped the bomb from getting Hitler. Do you remember in the 1940s, they would tell students to get under their tables in case of an air raid? So anyways, it works. The table works. So anyways, it wasn't a successful assassination, but the point was, if it had gone off, right, he had to wrestle with what happens if I'm a murderer? What happens if I'm this? True ethical dilemma within himself and his conclusions to that, which is why he was so beyond his time. He was so beyond religion, because a religious spirit says, what's the principle? What's the rule? How will it's principles over people, right? But what he is saying is true freedom is when you are happy to sacrifice even your own clear conscience, right? What does that mean? I've put myself above what's the best thing for everybody, okay? So he is ready to sacrifice a principle for a fruitful compromise. He's ready to sacrifice what we would consider settling, right? Settling in a mediocre life for fruitful radicalism. I am so inspired by that, because when you live in the context that I've lived in, where a lot of religious people have said and done a lot of things, and I don't say that bitterly, but one of the things that always tries to trap us is principles. And I believe in living and knowing your values and knowing your principles, but your value, I didn't actually read. I should have read the conclusion of that was so amazing. I can't believe I skipped that part. Where was it? Got a little carried away. The responsible man, who stands his ground? Only the man whose ultimate criteria is not his reason, his principles, his conscience, his freedom, or his virtue. In other words, how he looks himself. The true free man who stands his ground is not concerned firstly with his ego, with his self, but he is ready to sacrifice all of it to do what is right, what is obedient and responsible that God is telling him to do. That is true faith. That is the action of faith and obedience to God. And sometimes, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to be very controversial, sometimes God says, I know it doesn't make sense. Do it anyways. I want you to operate beyond what you think is the law, beyond what is what other people would consider right or wrong. Sometimes you have to make a decision that is that edgy. The reason why I find this so inspiring is because, and you guys, if you're watching this channel, you're probably a bit of an edge walker. You're a bridge. You probably don't feel like you fit or belong in boxes and stuff like that, because like attracts like, right? So when you are a pioneer, okay, when you're a leader, you lead yourself first, right? And all of the tests that come from God come to you by way of what are you going to do in this moment? And when you're presented with those kind of tests, there will be moments when you have to do something and make a decision that might not make sense to other people. It will go beyond your own boundaries, right? And I have personally, in my own deprogramming, from coming out of very religious communities and around people who have very religious performance spirits, right? Here's what's right, and here's how I want to present all of that. That is, the paraphrase is, they are prioritizing how they look to themselves, right? This is what Christ spoke against the Pharisees so much. He said to them, you're in error because you don't know your own scriptures. In other words, you don't know that the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was the law. And what you don't realize is that I, as a person, Christ, I embody the law. I am the law, baby. I made the cosmos. I am the natural law. I am the revealed law. I am the Torah. I am the law. And I'm a person, right? So the creator is a person. And when a person tells you to do something, you don't consult the law first. You consult the person. It's the deepest level of trust. It doesn't make any sense. And last year, as I was getting taken through a real deprogramming, I was really confronted with so many decisions that I had to consult my heart, and I had to consult what I felt was right over any law, and I wouldn't change a thing. I have no regrets. I learned that you can only do in the moment what you believe is right. No regrets. No regrets. If we are trying to have courage and be truly free, we have to operate out of our faith first. We have to consult the voice of God first, what we are seriously sensing in our intuitions first. That's what he's saying. Now, I'll just give you one more little quote. This is, I love this. I think this is all in preparation for the new year, new decisions, all of this, I just really feel the restlessness, the confusion, the what am I supposed to do? What choices am I supposed to make? This wrestle is all about consulting your character and your place of it's speaking to the sovereignty, I think, within us. I want to inspire action. That's the biggest thing. I want to inspire action in you guys and in myself. And it's so funny because when this opportunity came to me today and I got the email, I was like, I don't know, what should I do? And I had to really think about it. And I felt myself feeling a bit stagnant. It was like, I don't know if I want to. It was just a little bit of that wrestle, and I could feel it. And it took me some mustering up of my own courage and confronting, well, what are you afraid of, or what wouldn't be right? And to just be like, I'm leaping. Dude, I am taking the leap. I'm just going to do it. Okay, this is his blurb about action. To do and dare, not what you would, but what is right. Never to hesitate over what is within your power, but boldly to grasp what lies before you. Not in the flight of fancy, but only in the deed is there freedom. It's not the thinking about it and the going back and forth. There is torment in that. It is in doing the action that the freedom comes. Jocko Willink says that a lot. Away with timidity and reluctance, hesitating over and over, out into the storm of the event, sustained only by the commandment of God and your faith. And freedom will receive your spirit with exultation. I love him so much. Out into the storm, sustained only by what God has said to you, only by your faith. That is where true freedom lies. And you know, he does say something about how if you don't live this way, right? If you, let's say you double down and you play it safe with everything in your life. This is what he says. For everything that this man achieves who plays it safe, that which they leave undone will torment their peace of mind. They will either go to pieces in face of this disquiet or develop into the most hypocritical of all Pharisees. In other words, your conscience will be tormented even by your own disobedience to that word. It's like you can't actually get over it because it is the creative word of God for your life to invite you into that adventure. It is destiny calling. It is a storm, yes, and it's scary, yes, and all of that. But what he's speaking to is for the man who achieves settling and mediocrity and all of that, the quiet tormenting of what they didn't do will never let them rest. Not truly. And that's, I think, how we slowly become hardened, how we see people become hardened over time. It's just those little compromises that are made, and beneath all of those like hardened layers of not answering it and not doing it and not going into it, or not stepping into with courage to things. The only option to that is to hate yourself quietly for not because it, particularly I think with men, but with men and women, women are called into adventure as well, absolutely. And there's something about knowing that you didn't have what it takes, if that makes sense, that you didn't do the thing, tormenting. You can only not like yourself if you keep doing that over and over. Okay. And I will say this to you guys. I had to do something recently that took me a lot of courage, and it was not something, I had to humble myself. I had to write a letter and say, I got this bit wrong, and I got these bits right, but I got this bit wrong, and that's not who I am, and that's not how I want to walk. So just saying, I want to make this right. I had to do that, okay? And I'm not telling you that to make myself sound amazing. I'm telling you that because that little thing, I don't want that going into my year ahead. I do not want it. I do not want anything that makes me feel like about myself. Why? We need courage. We need to know that, well, you know what? That was scary as hell, but at least I did it. I have no regrets. Okay? I just feel it's this call to sovereignty, to standing up, and I really do. I feel this passion as a mother and as an older woman now to be like, guys, we have to get into the storm. We have to. Forget your pride. Forget how you think you look. Forget it. Destiny is freaking waiting. There's so much ground to be taken, right? I go on and on about the kingdom come, as above, so below. We are here to manifest the kingdom of God as his sons and daughters. That is not a joke. Every square inch of this earth is a battle. Every square inch. And we cannot afford to lose any more time, to sit there and spin around. And I'm talking to you guys, if you are over 30, I am talking to you particularly. This is nonsense. We have what it takes. We have what it takes. Okay? Okay. Coming down off my soapbox now. Okay, I want to do a little shuffle. And I think I'm just trying to think. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a Divine Truth card, and then I'm going to do 2 posts today because I feel like there's 2 separate words. So I'm actually going to post this video because I feel like this video is speaking to someone who is feeling restless with decision. Many of us, not someone, many of us, the collective, my brother, my sister out there, whoever you are, right? Anything at all that I've said, I hope that it would just inspire you to take that decision, look at it again, and be brave and bold. And you are not going to feel ready. I didn't feel ready today. I really didn't. And I could have said another day, but the reality is, no, I'm going to say yes. What the heck? You can always discover that it didn't work out, right? It's not going to kill me, right? So something's going on up here. I'm meeting a wall of fear, and we have to break those walls down as we go. So I'm going to get 1 Divine Truth card for just this courage that we all have. I want Holy Spirit, speak to us. Smack us up the backside if you want. But give us some fire. Give us some fire. We do. We need some courage. Whew. Okay, I'll take that one. All things are possible for the one who believes. All things are possible for the one who believes. Can you see that? No, you can't. All things are possible for the one who believes. You see it? Okay. Drop the mic. Drop the mic. Like, what if it just works out? Okay. I know it's not easy. That's not the point. Okay. You know what's coming to my mind, and I'll close with this. I was born and raised in the northwest of the US, which is like mountains and valleys. And I was literally born off the Snake River Canyon, just a couple miles off the Snake River Canyon. So outdoor stuff, right in the thick of it, right? And I grew up without, mobile phones and screens and all of that. And so much of my life was spent underneath trees, outdoors, just doing things, and my imagination and my body was moving, and I had the fresh air in my face all the time. And my dad, I was primarily raised by my dad, as I tell you guys, and he really raised us three girls as boys. Effectively, it's all he knew. He was one of three brothers, so he had three daughters. So he raised us like he knew. It was like, get out there, you know. It was some hard, tough love. Truly, it was. But I learned that there was really nothing I couldn't do if I put my mind to it. You know, if I tried. It didn't mean I was going to be great at everything, but I could do it. And fast forward, I'm raising my own kids, and our kids are growing up with so many screens, such a different time. And when we go to do things, I raise them as my dad raised me. We're like, get out into the thick of it. Don't take yourself so seriously. Get over yourself. Like, just do it, right? Try to have a good time. And the other day we were ice skating, and I was just skating around, and my kids were kind of like hugging the walls and sitting down and doing these different things. We had a good time, but I was skating around thinking, I'm just over here skating around this by myself, and I can skate okay. I'm not like a great skater, but I can skate okay, and I have confidence. And I was thinking of how many things at this point in my life I can do with confidence, because of those early years of my dad just pushing us out there and being like, get over it. You just go for it, right? Riding a bike, skiing, swimming, every single thing was just, there's no. And I don't know that we raise our kids in the same way. I'm trying to, but the reality is that the conditioning of getting out into the storm starts early. And if we haven't had that conditioning spiritually or emotionally, you know, I always say this to you guys, but the spirit is right there. Boom, you're in it. Like you have the spirit with you, and all things are possible for the one who believes. If you don't know how to do something, if you need courage, then we need to say, I need courage. Help me have courage, right? You are reparenting yourself, and the spirit is reparenting us endlessly. So if you've missed that, or our kids have missed that, we just have to jump back on that carousel when it comes around again. Does that make sense? So I suppose maybe without knowing it, I'm trying to inspire whomever feels maybe they haven't had courage, and there's just, you know, that roundabout's gone around a few times and you keep not jumping on. I'm just telling you that it is going to keep going around, and you can get on whenever you are ready. Get on it the next time it comes. Challenge yourself, okay? But let's not have regrets. Just saying. I get the sense that 2026 is going to be a ride, a wild ride. I do, but I'm looking forward to it. All right, my angels, so get out there in it. Giving you some tough love today. We need courage. That was better. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.